everyone. So I'm going to show you how to do a fabric or textile type collage to create an image. So you're gonna choose an image that's not highly detailed, or if you do choose an image that's detailed, you're gonna pare it down so that it's no longer a super detailed image. So if you look at bees up close, they actually are pretty detailed, but I simplified a drawing of a bee. And what I did was I just took a piece of paper and I lightly drew out the outline of the bee. And now instead of filling it in with paint or pen or marker, I'm actually gonna fill in the shapes of the bee with fabric, okay? So I'm gonna move my camera so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing, okay? So what I did is I looked at the shapes and I cut the shapes out according to what they looked like, okay? Now, since I've been teaching art for a really long time, I was able to eye the shapes and cut out the correct shapes just by looking at them. But that doesn't mean that everyone can do that, okay? So here's another option, okay? You can draw out your image and then cut out your image according to the shapes. And what you're doing is you're creating a pattern, okay? So let's say this is a shape of a part of my bee. Then what I would do is I would lay it down on my paper and I would outline it. Okay, just like that. And then I would cut it out, okay? And then I can just make a pattern of each shape part of my bee to glue on, okay? So I just eyed these shapes, and now I'll kind of show you what it looks like just from this process of eyeing the shapes, okay? And I kind of didn't want them to be perfect because I actually think that sometimes that imperfection of shapes adds to the overall piece and the look of it being handmade versus factory made. Okay, so I have another piece, I think, right here. Yeah. And then this. And then this. Oh, actually, I have to flip this over. Okay, so here's my bee, and actually I'm gonna lay this piece on top of this one. And now, I don't have the complete thing done yet, but what you can do is you can start gluing down the pieces. Now, I'm probably going to do this with hot glue. You could also do this with fabric glue. You could try doing it with just regular liquid glue. You could try doing it with tacky glue. If you have embroidery thread or string or yarn around the house, for smaller parts that are long and linear, you could glue down string for things like antenna, okay? Now I'm gonna glue this down in such a way that it doesn't flop out like this, okay? I'm gonna glue it down more like this, okay? So this is an option for one of the textile projects you can do with fabric waste. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them online or on Google Meet. Otherwise, happy art making.